Nice to see you again. This is Elegant Granny, your restoration strategist and creator and host of the Proactive Eye podcast. I am on a countdown to my 55th birthday, and I appreciate you tagging along because I am talking about different things in my life that I remember, things I experienced, and what I've learned. And today is January 31st, 2024. So we are now on day 50. Oh my goodness. 5 more days. Yeah, 5 more days until 55. I can't believe it. I'm actually very excited. So today, we're going to talk about my favorite birthday gifts out of all the years that I've been here on this earth that I remember that are my favorite. Jack Rocks. If you were a little girl growing up in the late 60s or the 70s, early 80s, you know about Jack Rocks. That was a favorite game that my cousin Sherry and I loved to play whenever we were together. And one of my other besties when I was growing up, Renee, we used to play it. But Sherry and I, it was just like whenever we were together, that was our thing. And especially when we would visit one another for our birthdays. And her birthday was December, and mine was February. And yeah, Jack Rocks. You couldn't get any better than that. That was one of my favorites. And sometimes now I'll go to Cracker Barrel just to get some. Just to get some. They don't have the little teeny ones anymore that they used to have back in the day, but they got the really big ones. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need those geriatric jacks as I age. But yeah, Jack Rocks. I loved it. That was one of my favorite games. There is no special order into how I'm doing this, but Jack Rocks was the first thing that came to my mind. This next thing is family get-togethers. I love when my family does whoever's the host is the one who do the meats and everybody else bring covered dishes. That I love. I remember that being a thing for one of my birthdays. I don't remember which one, but it was a thing. And it was, oh my goodness, to experience that and the people that were there, yeah, that was awesome because you got a little sprinkle of everybody's love. And yeah, I have no words to express how I feel right now about that. But that was special. I've, I have to say, I've been pretty fortunate. Another one of my favorite things is the press and curl. Oh my goodness, if you grew up in the 60s and the 70s, you remember your mother or your grandmother either sending you to the hairdresser or they would put this hot comb on the stove and they would get out the wax and they would after they washed and conditioned your hair really good and detangled it and dried it, then they would take that hot comb that was on the stove and they would press your hair. Psst, yes. I loved, especially when it got to my 13th birthday. That's when it started. Because I was becoming a woman. And my grandmother used to send me every 2 weeks faithfully to this hairdresser who I think she's a cousin on my dad's side, um, to Miss Dimples to get my hair hot combed, press and curl. I think that was my most favorite hairstyle. Is whenever I would go to her and have my hair done, and she would curl my hair, and it would stay, even though I was sweating like a mule during the summertime, it pretty much stayed. It really did. It pretty much stayed. Maybe not at the roots, but the remainder of my hair, it pretty much stayed. And I liked that. I really did. I liked that because I could do so many things with it. And my hair, I thought it was the most beautiful, silky black thing that I've ever seen. It's just, it kind of reminded me of a horse's mane. Um, because the way it was just so silky and flowy, and the way it would hold curls. I loved it. I did. It was my favorite hairstyle, and I loved, especially on my birthdays, when my grandmother would send me to get my hair done. That was one of my favorite things, yes. Money, 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 money. Who does not like money for their birthday? You know, the famous thing that, especially in the black household, you teach your kids to do by age 2. You know, they understand the concept of when someone hands them a card to expect some money. So, yeah. But you didn't even have to give me a card. Just give me a Pentecostal handshake. That would do. Yeah, in the 70s, that you did a lot of that. But money. Yeah, money. I loved money. I loved money as a child. I loved money as a young adult. I love money as a full grown adult. And I'm loving money even as I am venturing on into my senior years, which in another 10 years, I will be a senior citizen. But yeah, money. Who doesn't like it? I don't know anybody who doesn't like it, but yeah, you can never go wrong handing Granny a piece of money. I bet you can't guess what my most favorite is. Books. Books, 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 books. I love books. I loved books so much because I just love reading. But I loved books so much. This is how much I loved them. You know how your child does something that you don't like and you're punishing them? My mother's greatest weapon against me was to make me go to my room, take out all of my books, and put them in her room. But the thing is, I could only bring one book at a time until they were all gone out of my room and into her room. That was so agonizing. Oh my gosh, that was agonizing. It was bad enough that I knew that she was gonna say, "Bring me your books." I don't think it would have felt as bad as if I was to take them all or just grab as many as I could and stack them up in her room. No, I had to go grab one book at a time and take it to her. And every time I would pick up one, knowing it's going to her room and it wasn't coming back until whenever she said, I could just feel a piece of my heart being crushed. And then when I would take it to her room to leave it there, that same little piece was powdered. I mean, it was just grounded up. And oh my goodness, that was her greatest weapon for me. I didn't get in trouble much. I really didn't, because my books were my whole world. And yeah, they helped me a lot. They really did. They became my friends. They became my confidant. They were answers for me because I was very inquisitive as a child. I had many questions, and my mother's response was to always go, look it up. That was her response to me, look it up. So I became very acquainted with books, and I was always reading. I just loved books. They were the best. So there you have it. My favorite things that I received for my birthday. all through my life, from childhood to now.